Imagine waking up tomorrow and every bathroom on Earth is gone. No toothbrush, no toothpaste, no shampoo, no soap, no deodorant, pretending it can fix your personality. And now imagine that is not one bad morning. That is most of human history. So the easy answer is obvious. Ancient humans must have been disgusting. Just clouds of smell with legs. But that answer is too modern. Because ancient people did not have our products. They did have teeth that hurt, skin that itched, hair full of parasites, bodies that smelled, and other humans standing close enough to notice. So the real question is not, were they clean like us? The real question is, what did clean mean before modern life? When we picture ancient hygiene, we usually make one of two mistakes. Mistake 1. Everyone in the past was filthy, helpless, and completely unaware that dirt was bad. Mistake 2. We overcorrect and pretend they had perfect natural routines secretly better than everything today. Neither is true. They did not understand bacteria. They did not know plaque was a biofilm. They did not know invisible organisms could move from hands to food to wounds. But they did understand the things you do not need a microscope to notice. Food stuck between your teeth. A tooth that will not stop aching. Lice crawling in your hair. A smell that makes people move away from you. That was enough to invent hygiene. Not modern hygiene. Human hygiene. And teeth are where the story gets uncomfortable. Because if you think skipping the dentist for 2 years is bad, imagine having a cavity 14,000 years before anesthesia. In northern Italy, researchers studied a late Upper Paleolithic human known as the Villa Bruna specimen. One of his molars had a cavity, but inside that cavity were tiny marks, V-shaped scratches, chips in the enamel, marks consistent with someone using pointed flint tools to scrape and lever out decayed tissue. Which means one of the oldest known dental treatments was basically this: my tooth hurts. Give me a sharp rock. That is horrifying, but it is also important. Because it means ancient humans were not passively accepting mouth pain. They were doing something about it. Even if that something makes every dentist alive quietly put their head in their hands. But scraping a rotten tooth is emergency dentistry. What about daily cleaning? Before toothbrushes, before mint toothpaste, before the little cup of water by the sink, what did people actually do? The answer seems almost too simple. They picked, they scraped, they chewed. Researchers have found toothpick-like grooves on ancient teeth, and toothpick use appears extremely old in the human lineage. This makes sense. If meat fiber, seeds, or tough plant material gets wedged between your teeth, you do not need a dental degree. You need a sliver of wood, a bone point, a thorn, a tiny tool that says, "I refuse to live like this." And then there is the chewing stick. This is where the past suddenly looks less primitive. Take the right twig, chew one end until the fibers fray. Now the end starts acting like a tiny brush. In many cultures, chewing sticks became a normal way to clean teeth. One famous example is Miswak, often made from Salvadora persica. It is not magic. It is mechanical. Fibers rub the tooth surface. And depending on the plant, chemical compounds may also play a role. Modern reviews describe Miswak as having both mechanical and chemical cleansing properties, while also warning that technique matters and overuse can cause damage. So no, an ancient twig was not automatically better than your toothbrush. But ancient humans were not staring at dirty teeth with absolutely no plan. They had a plan. It was just growing on a tree. But here is the twist. Ancient teeth were not just shaped by cleaning. They were shaped by food. For most of human history, diets were tough, fibrous, gritty, and local. Then farming changed the menu. More starch, more stored grain, more processed plant foods. Later, industrial life added refined flour and sugar at a scale the ancient mouth had never seen. Researchers studying ancient calcified dental plaque found that the human oral microbiome changed with the Neolithic shift to farming, and then changed again during the Industrial Revolution. Modern mouths are not just ancient mouths with better toothbrushes. They are ecosystems living in a completely different food environment. So, if a prehistoric skull has worn down teeth, but fewer cavities than a later population, That does not mean perfect hygiene. It means the entire battlefield was different. Different food, different bacteria, different damage. Now move from the mouth to the body. What did people do before soap? First, they used water. Rivers, lakes, rain, basins, baths, wet cloths. Water was the oldest cleaning technology. But water alone does not remove everything, so people also used abrasives and absorbents. Sand, ash, clay, oil. If something can rub, soak, scrape, or carry dirt away, humans probably tried it. Soap-like substances do appear very early. The American Cleaning Institute summarizes evidence from ancient Babylon around 2800 BCE involving fats boiled with ashes. Egyptian sources describe animal and vegetable oils combined with alkaline salts. But ancient soap existing does not mean everyone had a lavender body wash routine. Early soap-like materials could be used for textiles, medicine, or skin conditions. Modern daily soap bathing is much later. So before soap was normal, cleanliness was physical. Wet it, rub it, scrape it, rinse it, repeat until society lets you sit nearby. And nobody makes this clearer than the Greeks and Romans, because one of their cleaning tools looks less like a soap dish and more like something a villain keeps in a drawer. The strigil, a curved metal scraper. Apply oil to the skin. Let the oil mix with sweat, dirt, dust, and dead skin. Then scrape the whole mixture off. The Science Museum group describes Roman strigils used between about 199 BCE and 500 CE for exactly this kind of cleaning. To us, scraping your body with a metal hook sounds intense. To them, it was normal, especially in athletic and bathing cultures. Ancient hygiene was not always gentler. Sometimes it was just more manual. But ancient bathing was not only about removing dirt. It could be social, religious, political, a marker of class. At Mohenjo-Daro, in the Indus Valley, the Great Bath dates to the 3rd millennium BCE. It was built with brick, waterproofing, stairs, and drainage, generally interpreted as connected to ritual bathing or purification. That matters because it shows water management was not an afterthought. Ancient people built architecture around cleaning and the body, not everywhere, not equally, not with modern plumbing in every house. But the idea that people cared enough to engineer water spaces is very old. A bath could clean you, but it could also say something about who you were, what group you belonged to, and whether you were ready to enter a sacred or social space. Then there were parasites, because ancient hygiene was not only about smelling better. Sometimes it was about not having tiny insects colonize your head. One of the most vivid artifacts is a 3,700-year-old ivory comb from Tel Lachish. It has an inscription in early Canaanite writing that has been translated as a wish. May this tusk root out the lice of the hair and the beard. That sentence is incredible, because it is not a king bragging about conquest. It is not a law code. It is not a prayer for eternal glory. It is basically ancient humanity saying, please get these things out of my hair. And microscopic analysis found remains of head lice on the comb. So the comb was not just decorative. It was part of the endless human war against itching. So were ancient humans dirty? By modern standards, often yes. They did not have chlorinated tap water everywhere. They did not have antibiotics for infected gums. They did not have nylon toothbrushes, fluoride toothpaste, sewer systems in every town, or germ theory explaining why hand washing matters. But by the standards of their own world, they were not helpless. They cleaned teeth with picks, sticks, fibers, and abrasives. They washed with water, ash, clay, oil, and scraping. They built baths. They made soap-like substances. They combed out lice. They treated painful teeth with tools that make us wince because they had no better option. The mistake is thinking hygiene begins when a company sells it in a plastic bottle. It does not. Hygiene begins the first time a human feels discomfort and decides to remove it. Modern hygiene is powerful because it adds chemistry, plumbing, dentistry, microbiology, and mass production. That changed everything. But the instinct underneath is ancient. The urge to scrape your teeth, wash your skin, comb your hair, get rid of parasites, smell acceptable to the people around you, and stop pain before it takes over your life. So the next time you brush your teeth in a warm bathroom with clean water coming out of the wall, remember this. You are not doing something separate from ancient humans. You are doing what they did, just with better tools. So here is the question. If you had to give up one modern hygiene invention forever, toothpaste, soap, shampoo, deodorant, or hot showers, which one would destroy you first? Tell me in the comments. And be honest, because your ancestors are judging you with a twig,